Hello students, welcome to the second part of the video. And today we are going to start with the hydrogen chapter. Okay. In the last lecture we have discussed regarding this part. So the third preparation method. So topic is preparation of hydrogen with the alkalis. Okay. See, the first method was related to water. Okay, the first method was related to water, second method was related to acids, and the third methods are related to the alkali. Okay, what are alkalis? It's an Arabic term which means water solubles. NaOH and KOH are the two alkalis, means water soluble bases. Now we are going to take three metals. Okay, that is zinc, aluminium and lead. Okay, lead. Three methods. Okay, let's start with the reaction. If suppose I am going to take metal and I am going to make it react with the alkali, the name of the alkalis are given to you right now. So it will form up a salt and hydrogen gas will be liberated. Only these three methods. Now this three metals, aluminium, zinc and lead, but this we took this three only because they have this unique property. They can react with the acids also and they can react with the bases also. Why bases? Because OHC, I have already in the start only cleared that OH stands for the basis part. Okay, basis part. Suppose I am going to take zinc and I am going to make it react with NaOH. So it is going to form sodium zincate plus hydrogen gas will be released. Now see the zinc and sodium. In this case the zinc is less reactive than sodium if you watch the metal reactivity series, so it won't be able to displace this sodium, but then the reaction is going to happen. Okay, the reaction is going to happen. So what is going to happen? This zinc is going to displace this hydrogen. Okay, rather than displacing this sodium, it would displace this hydrogen. So that is why a compound called sodium zincate has been formed. Sodium zincate and hydrogen gas get liberated. Okay, zinc hydrogen के जगह पे गया और hydrogen zinc के जगह पे गया. Okay, so see first metal, then see first more reactive metal, then the least reactive metal, then the non-metals. If you write any of the name of the compound, suppose for NaCl, तो फर्स्ट मेटल लिखते हो फिर नॉन मेटल्स लिखते हो. तो वैसे मैंने भी इधर यही किया है. फर्स्ट मोर रिएक्टिव मेटल, लीस्ट रिएक्टिव मेटल, देन नॉन मेटल्स वी हैव कंसीडर. Then if I am going to take lead and I am going to make it react with NaOH, so it will form Pb2, sodium plumbite plus hydrogen gas will get released. Sodium plumbite. Now third, if I am going to take aluminium, see we took zinc, lead, now aluminium. Now while taking this part, it should be fused. Fused means what? Molten. Molten मतलब पिघला हुआ, melted part. Na3 AlO3 plus hydrogen gas. It is called sodium aluminite. Okay, sodium aluminite. For suppose if I'm not going to take the fused Okay, molten वाला part नहीं दिया, तो I have to put them into the solution that is of water. Okay, if I'm going to put the same into a water, then what is going to happen? It is going to form NaLO2 and hydrogen gas would be liberated. It is called sodium meta-aluminate. Sodium meta-aluminate. Now, this we do. Now, suppose if I am going to take oxides and hydroxides of this part, whose zinc, aluminium and lead. If you want, I can give you a shortcut that is called ZAP. Just remember this. ZAP, Z stands for zinc, aluminium, lead. Okay? Zinc, aluminium, lead. ZAPs. If I am going to take zinc oxide and I am going to take an alkali, an acids like HCl. So we know that part. This is basic in nature because metal oxides are always basic in nature, and this is nothing but the acids. And we know that part, when an acid reacts with a base, it forms salt and water only. So that is why these ZAPs are called amphoteric. Okay, the ZAPs are called amphoteric. Amphoteric means what? That they react with acid as well as base. They react with acid as well as base. They react with acid as well as base to give salt and water. Amphoteric means which reacts with acid as well as base to give salt and water. Now, they might ask you which is the most preferable method, which can react with the water also, which can react with the acids also, which can react with the alkalis also. So most preferred element, okay, the most preferred elements to prepare hydrogen gas is nothing but the zinc part. See, there is a reason out here on this page. I will clear this part for you. See, we can't take sodium and potassium. Why we can't take sodium and potassium? Because both reacts violently with acids. Okay, they are highly reactive in nature. We can't take calcium and magnesium also because they are very expensive in nature. As the nature is very expensive, so we can't take this to prepare hydrogen. Okay, aluminium. See, I have given the reason before also. Aluminium oxide has a greater affinity towards the oxygen, hence it forms up the protective covering. So because of this, hydrogen gas won't be able to get released up. Iron has to be heated. Okay, see, in this reaction, iron has to be heated, but then the hydrogen produced contain impurity like hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide. So iron reaction is not possible because it contains of the impurities, okay, like hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxides, which can spoil up your hydrogen, and no use of preparing this on the large scale. Large scale means the industrial purpose. We can't take lead because we can't take lead because if I'm going to take lead and I'm going to make it react with HCl, so it is going to form PbCl2 and hydrogen gas will be liberated. So in this case, the hydrogen gas would be liberated, but what is going to happen? This will precipitate. Okay, same like that. If I'm going to take this sulfuric acid and hydrogen gas, so it will form up the precipitation. See, precipitation, what is the function of this precipitation? The precipitation will stop up the reactions part. So that is why lead is not been preferred. Okay, and there is no use of taking the elements which are below the hydrogen, because if you have to prepare hydrogen, the reaction should be above the metal should be above the hydrogen. So copper, mercury are not taken because they are least reactive than the hydrogen. See, because no reaction would take place. So which is the most preferred? Zinc is the most preferred element for preparing the hydrogen gas. Now we are going to take this part. Why granulated zinc is preferred? Okay. So first, see, as we know, okay, we are going to take zinc for the preparation of the hydrogen gas. But why the granulated zinc is preferred? And what do you mean by the term granulated zinc? See, granulated zinc means which contains the impurity is called the granulated zinc. The zinc which contains impurity. The zinc which contains the impurity is called the granulated zinc. And as it contains of the impurity, the name is copper. Okay. Why we have to learn the name of the impurity? Because this copper, see, I am going to write out here. What do you mean by granulated zinc? Granulated zinc is that zinc which contains of the impurity. Okay. And why the impure zinc has been taken? This is the question. Because it contains impurity of copper which acts as positive catalyst. It contains impurity of copper which acts as a positive catalyst. And what is the function of the positive catalyst? It helps to speed up the reaction. So whenever we take zinc, and I am going to take the acid, so it will form zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas would be liberated. And same with the sulfuric acid also. Instead of chloride, it will be sulfate and hydrogen gas will be liberated. See, this upward arrow means the liberation of gases, which we have already covered in the chemical reactions chapter. Collection method. See, we know that part. Okay, hydrogen is the lightest. Okay, it is the lightest element in the universe. So the collection method, the answer first I am going to write. It is collected by downward displacement of water. Downward displacement of water. Why it is been collected in the water? See, if you look at the diagram carefully, see, this is the zinc granules, and we are pouring the sulfuric acid from the top or the hydrochloric acid, whichever is possible for you to take. Okay, and this is the Thistell funnel from where we are going to drop this part, and from this end, when the hydrogen gas will get liberated, as it is lightest, so definitely due to the density region it will be up and it would enter into this part, and eventually we have submerged this funnel part, okay, this funnel part, this into this water, and we can see these bubbles which has been erased out. Okay, which has been erased out here. Due to the lower density, the hydrogen is collected over the water, but it should not be collected over the water. It should be collected in the water. Downward displacement of water means what? It should be collected in the water part. The first reason to collect in water, first of all, this gas is insoluble in water. As it is insoluble in water, so it can be easily collected in the water then. Okay, अगर dissolve हो जाएगा तो फायदा क्या? So that is why it is insoluble in water. Why it should not be collected in the air part? It is lighter than air and can form mixture which can be explosive. See, it is lighter than air. Since it is lighter than air, so this hydrogen gas would react with this air, okay, and forms up a mixture which can be explosive. मतलब हाइड्रोजन गैस को कभी भी हम लोग को एयर के ऊपर कलेक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज इट कैन रिएक्ट विथ इट, एंड ड्यू टू दिस देयर कैन बी एन एक्सप्लोजन. एंड the first reason is very much clear only. It is insoluble in water, so it should be collected in the water. Okay, see, when we take hydrogen into the consideration, so what are the difficulties we face? See, when we prepare this hydrogen, ये hydrogen gas जब इधर से liberate होता है, तो there are certain impurities which are considered into this part. Hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxides, nitrogen, phosphine, arsine, carbon dioxide, water. These are the impurities that are associated with the hydrogen. So what we should do, see, अगर मेरे को ये hydrogen चाहिए in the purest form, okay, this is the impure form, right? And if I want this hydrogen in the purest form, so definitely it should not contain these impurities. So how to remove these impurities? Just I'm going to give you a reason. How to remove the impurity? First, if I have to remove the KSH3, which is called arsine, PH3, which is called phosphine, arsine and phosphine. If I have to remove this arsine and phosphine, we should take a silver nitrate solution. Okay, these are the impurity, and solution to remove impurity is silver nitrate solution. Okay, if I have to remove this arsine and phosphine impurity, I should take up the solution which is called silver nitrate solution. Okay, then this was the first one. Second, if the impurity consists of hydrogen sulfide, if impurity so I should take lead nitrate solution. See, arsine and phosphine reacts with this silver nitrate, okay, and this reaction is going to get formed. But see, no need of learning of this reaction, okay, because this is not necessary to get learned up. You just have to remember the name. Okay, if I have to remove this arsine and phosphine impurities, so I should take up the silver nitrate solutions. If I have to remove this hydrogen sulfide, so I should take lead nitrate. Okay. But what if I have to remove impurities like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide? If I have to remove this, so which solution I am going to take? Caustic potash. Caustic potash means KOH. Caustic potash is a common name, okay? I should take this solution. Okay, so these are the three impurities which can be easily get removed from this caustic potash. And you have already studied in the plants chapter also that this KOH has the greater ability to suck up this carbon dioxide. Okay, you have studied in the chapter in the biology where we have studied if there is a carbon dioxide present in the flask, so how it should be removed by a solution of a caustic potash. Then the fourth part, when I obtain my hydrogen, okay, by clearing from this impurity, by clearing from this impurity. So if you notice, all the impurities have been removed from the solution form. ओके मैंने जितनी भी इम्प्योरिटी थी वो सब सोल्यूशन में से निकाली. तो इसके वजह से ये जो हाइड्रोजन ऑब्टेन हुआ था वो थोड़ा वेट था. ओके ये वेट था. तो डेफिनेटली व्हाट आई शुड डू, आई एम गोइंग टू यूज अ ड्राइंग एजेंट्स. विच ड्राइंग एजेंट्स आर यूजफुल to convert this wet hydrogen into dry hydrogen. Okay, see मैंने क्या बताया था कि this hydrogen was containing the impurity which we have poured into the solution, and thus we got a hydrogen, purest hydrogen, but in the wet form. But as I have to remove this wetness and I have to make this hydrogen dry one, so I am going to use my drying agent. So which are the drying agents we are going to take? Calcium chloride, okay, caustic potash, phosphorus pentoxide. These are the three drying agent we should take. There is one more drying agent, that is called concentrated sulfuric acid. But this drying agent is not preferred to convert this wet hydrogen into the dry hydrogen. Why? Although concentrated sulfuric acid is a good drying agent, but it should not be taken, because if I am going to take, suppose I got my hydrogen, okay, wet hydrogen, and I took sulfuric acid concentrated, so what is going to happen? This sulfuric acid will react with this hydrogen, okay, and hence the reaction will form like this. मतलब क्या होगा, मेरे को ये जो वेट हाइड्रोजन था उसको सिर्फ ड्राई करना था, तो मैंने ये 3 लगाए तो हो गया है ये इजीली. बट व्हेन आई टुक दिस हाइड्रोजन, ओके, वेट हाइड्रोजन, एंड आई यूज दिस एज कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड ड्राइंग एजेंट, rather than making it dry, it got reacted. Okay, rather than making it dry, it got reacted. Now precautions are very important. Okay, see, the apparatus should be airtight, because if any of the gas, if suppose other than hydrogen will enter into the reaction, then no use of taking up. Okay, it should be airtight. No flame should be near the apparatus. Why there should not be any flame of near the apparatus? Because it is a very common reason. If suppose there is a flame, okay, suppose, let's take an example. Suppose this is a candle, and suppose in this beaker, okay, in this test tube, I mean to say, there is the hydrogen gas, okay. If they are nearby, तो hydrogen is itself is an inflammable gas. Inflammable मतलब क्या, वो आग लगा देगी, okay, and this flame will help you, this flame would help this hydrogen to get burned up. So that is why no flame should be near the apparatus, since the hydrogen gas is inflammable in nature. Leave first few bubbles. Why we have to leave first few bubbles? Because if we are going to leave the first few bubbles, then what is going to happen? All the gas, okay. See, when we prepare hydrogen gas, okay, from the granulated zinc, so first few bubbles you have to leave. Why we have to leave? Because it can contain up the impurity, okay, it can contain up some of the impurity, and due to this you won't get a perfect hydrogen. So that is why leave the first few bubbles, and after that start taking up the hydrogen, okay. Now test for hydrogen. See, like I have covered this part for you, okay, this part and this part, magnesium manganese regarding, only this part is left. See, concentrated sulfuric acid is not used in the preparation. See, if I'm going to take this concentrated sulfuric acid and I'm going to take this zinc, so what is going to happen? This zinc will get oxidized and form zinc sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water will get formed. Okay, तो ये मेथड जब हम लेते हैं तो हमको तो हाइड्रोजन गैस चाहिए, राइट? बट ये हाइड्रोजन गैस दे रहा नहीं है. In fact, it is going to release this sulfur dioxide and water, which we don't need it. We need only the hydrogen gas to be get formed. So concentrated sulfuric acid is not used because it produces the sulfur dioxide. So this is the third give reason for you. Now test for hydrogen. How to identify a hydrogen? First, there would be if the hydrogen is impure hydrogen will produce a pop sound because it is impure, so definitely it would burst, it would crack it up, so that is why it will produce the pop sound. But if the hydrogen is in the purest form, so it would give you pale blue flame. So these are the important one. Now, manufacturing of hydrogen on large scale, and they will ask you a short question. Okay, what is the name of the process? The name of the process is process, which is used in the large scale to prepare the hydrogen gas. Bosch process. This which you have studied last year also. See, what I am going to do in the first reaction, I am going to take coke. Okay, coke is the form of the carbon, and I am going to make it react with the steam. Around 1000 degrees Celsius. So it would give you a product. It is a special product which is called as the water gas. Negative delta. See, I took hot coke and I passed the steam. So what it formed? It formed up the water gas. Water gas is a mixture of carbon monoxide plus hydrogen. Okay. Why water gas? Because these gases have been formed. These both are the gases. Carbon monoxide or hydrogen, दोनों भी gas है. It has been formed with the help of the water. Okay. It has been formed with the help of the water, and both of them are gaseous in nature. And minus delta means what? The reaction shows that this is endothermic in nature. ओके, सिंस इट वॉज एंडोथर्मिक, सफिशिएंट अमाउंट ऑफ हीट नहीं था, इसके वजह से मैंने 1000 डिग्री सेल्सियस यूज किया. देन आई टुक माई सी वी आर रिक्वायर्ड टू प्रिपेयर दी हाइड्रोजन. देन वी टुक दिस वाटर गैस and we made it react again with the steam. Since the reaction was highly endothermic, the reaction was not producing a steam means water. Okay, write water and steam down. So it releases dioxide, hydrogen gas, and plus delta. See, plus delta means what? Highly exothermic in nature. Carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. See, in both the cases, if you notice, we got the hydrogen gas, but we got the additional product also, like carbon monoxide मिला, इधर भी hydrogen मिला, but carbon dioxide भी ना. Carbon monoxide was unstable. Okay, the carbon monoxide was unstable, so that is why we took this carbon monoxide and took with the hydrogen, and due to this we form up a stable compound which is called the carbon dioxide. Now there would be a reason. Since we don't need this carbon dioxide, so what I am going to do, सी वी नो दैट पार्ट वेरी वेल. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को ऑब्जॉर्ब करने के लिए क्या चाहिए? कॉस्टिक पोटैश. तो इट वुड फॉर्म K2CO3 प्लस वाटर. ओके, या इफ यू हैव टू, देयर इज एन ऑल्टरनेटिव वे ऑल्सो. ओके, इफ कॉस्टिक पोटैश नहीं होगा and I have to dissolve this carbon dioxide, so the above water gas mixture should be forced through the cold water under the pressure. Under pressure. What does that means? See, अगर आपने कोई भी कोई भी कोल्ड ड्रिंक पिया रहेगा, तो वेन एवर वी ओपन अप दी बॉटल, ओके, कैप पार्ट, तो इट प्रोड्यूसेस अ फिस्ट साउंड. तो फिस्ट साउंड मीन्स व्हाट? द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गॉट रिलीज्ड अप फ्रॉम दैट बॉटल. तो मीन्स क्या? ओके, तो सेम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कैन बी पास्ड इन द कोल्ड वाटर ऑल्सो, एज आई हैव गिवन द एग्जाम्पल. कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स प्रोड्यूस अप अ फिस्ट साउंड, तो दैट इज वाटर ओनली विच हैज द अमाउंट ऑफ द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड डिजॉल्व इन इट. तो कार्बन dioxide got dissolved, right? Now we have to dissolve this carbon monoxide. As I already mentioned, carbon monoxide is not that easy because carbon monoxide is unstable in nature. Unstable compounds are very difficult to get separated. So that is why we use up a special compound. Okay, just remember the name. And we are going to take the reaction in the water. This is called ammonical cuprous chloride. Ammonical cuprous chloride. Ammonical cuprous chloride, the function of this ammonical cuprous chloride is nothing. Okay, sorry. The function of this ammonical cuprous chloride is nothing but in order to absorb this unstable compound, okay, that is carbon monoxide, which is taken in the water. So it will form up a compound called additional product, which you don't have to learn, just have to write like this. Okay, the same I am going to write like this with no addition sign in between. So what is left? Only hydrogen gas is got left. Okay, see, first we formed this part. Carbon dioxide easily got absorbed. Okay, we know this reason. This unstable compound with the ammonical cuprous chloride, it got mixed with the water and it formed up the addition product, which we don't have to learn up the name of this part. Okay, this got easily absorbed by this part. Only what is left now? Only the hydrogen gas got left. Reaction with non-metals. See, we know that part. If hydrogen react with oxygen, it would form water. Okay, there would be a pop sound also and a pale blue flame. Pop sound आया तो समझ जाना impure hydrogen था, और नहीं आया और पेल ब्लू फ्लेम आया तो प्योरेस्ट फॉर्म. दिस वाज द फर्स्ट. सेकंड है, इफ हाइड्रोजन कंबाइन विद दिस क्लोरीन तो इट विल फॉर्म HCl. बट इधर एक कंडीशन है, दिस रिएक्शन टेक्स प्लेस इन द डिफ्यूज सनलाइट. डिफ्यूज सनलाइट मीन्स व्हाट? द सनलाइट rays are not directly, okay, the sunlight rays are not directly put into this reaction. It is a diffused form. As this is the diffused form, diffuse मतलब क्या होता है कि सनलाइट प्रॉपरली नहीं आ रही है, ओके, पार्शियली पहुंचा रहे हैं. डायरेक्ट सनलाइट कुड बी एन एक्सप्लोसिव मेथड टू प्रिपेयर दिस hydrochloric acid. So that is why diffuse sunlight you have to take. Third, if I am going to take nitrogen and I am going to make it react, which is called the Haber's process also, and this is very important one. They might ask you, this is a reversible reaction. and ammonia gas is formed. In students, here you have to write the name of the catalyst and the promoter also. Okay, the name of the catalyst is Fe2O3, that is ferric oxide, and the name of the promoter is chromium oxide. Okay, just here in the second step. Here it is from the Haber's process. So the temperature, okay, the temperature here it is needed around 450 degrees Celsius to 500 degrees Celsius. The pressure it takes around 200 to 900 atm. The catalyst which I am going to take out here is iron, and the promoter is molybdenum. So these are the four, and this is very important one. This hydrogen and reacts with sulfur also state, and it can forms up the H2S. And what is the speciality of this gas? It has the smell of a rotten egg. See, we know that part very well. Okay, hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen can form an explosive mixture with the air. Okay, because air. See, air means what? Basically nothing but the oxygen. Hydrogen is an inflammable gas. And oxygen itself supports the combustion. So due to this, the mixtures can be it's very explosive and can be dangerous for the life. But it can be only dangerous if we use a large amount of mixture. But if there is a less amount of mixture, okay, if less amount of hydrogen and less amount of oxygen reacts with each other, then no explosion can get created. But if there is more amount of these gases, so it can be very dangerous. It can form up the dangerous mixture called detonating mixture. Detonating mixture is so dangerous that it can lead to a serious damages and injuries. Okay, so one should be very careful. And during the lab process also, whenever they wanted to react this hydrogen with oxygen, so they keep in a note that they take this oxygen at a lesser amount, so that no detonating mixture get formed. Now reactions with the metallic oxides. Okay, reactions with the metals we have seen. Now there was a topic called reaction with the non-metal. Now a topic called reaction with metal. See, if I am going to take potassium and I am going to make it react with hydrogen, so it is going to form potassium hydride. Okay, if I am going to take this calcium and I am going to make it react with hydrogen, so it will going to form calcium hydride. Okay, hydrides, only this part. Reaction with metallic oxides. See, remember, if I am going to take copper oxide and I am going to make it react with hydrogen, so it will give us copper and this. Why? Because we know that hydrogen is a very good reducing agent. And what is the function of the reducing agent? The function of the reducing agent is to reduce the compounds. Okay, if suppose I take PbO and I am going to make it react, so it is going to form this and what will get formed. Now fourth part, it can be also form the hydrogenasis process. Okay, hydrogenation process. See, there are many of those uses. You have to, hydrogenation process. What is the hydrogenation process? Suppose I am going to take this CH2 double bond CH2. Okay, and I am going to take this hydrogen with it, with a catalyst, that is nickel. How many C are there? 2C. How many H are there? 2 plus 2 is 4, and this 2. Okay, so I am going to take this CH, triple bond CH. It is going to form C2H6, twice hydrogen. See, हाइड्रोजनेशन मीन्स व्हाट? हाइड्रोजन जब भी ऐड होता है कोई भी ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड में जब भी हाइड्रोजन ऐड होता है तो इट इज़ कॉल्ड हाइड्रोजनेशन प्रोसेस. देखो, इधर 2 हाइड्रोजन थे और इधर 2 2 जा 4, तो 4 हाइड्रोजन ऐड हो गए, तो दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड दी हाइड्रोजनेशन प्रोसेस. नाउ यूजेस. See, it can be used as a fuel. Okay, like what? Coal gas, water gas. Okay, it can be used for cutting and welding purpose. Welding purpose. Okay, it can be used in the Haber's process. Haber's process, last we have read how to prepare ammonia. Okay, it can, see, the fourth point is catalytic hydrogenation. See, I am going to take vegetable oil. If I am going to pass hydrogen gas with the presence of the nickel, okay, the catalyst can be 3, yeah? Just name nickel, palladium, platinum. Okay, and around 200 degrees Celsius, so this oil will get convert into solid vanaspati ghee. See, oil is liquid in nature but the ghee is semi solid in nature. तो ऑयल से घी कैसे बनाते हैं? बाय पासिंग आउट दिस हाइड्रोजन गैस. एंड वाई दिस इज कॉल्ड कैटालिटिक हाइड्रोजनेशन? सी, कैटालिटिक मीन्स वाई? बिकॉज वी आर यूजिंग दिस कैटलिस्ट. एंड हाइड्रोजनेशन मीन्स व्हाट? एडिशन ऑफ द हाइड्रोजन. It can be also used, see, only 4 to 5 uses are necessary. You don't have to learn each and every one. It can be used in the extractions of metal. Extraction of metal means copper oxide. If I am going to take hydrogen, so it will form copper. So see, this was an ore and it got converted into a metal. Okay, Fe2O3 and hydrogen gas. Now, sixth example, meteorological balloons. What do you mean by meteorological balloons? Meteorological balloons are those balloons which helps to understand the weather forecast. Okay, अगर वेदर के बारे में कुछ जानना है तो meteorological balloons में भी हाइड्रोजन गैसेस यूज़ होता है. ओके, बलून्स में भी हाइड्रोजन गैस यूज़ होता है. बट दिस कंसेप्ट हैज़ बिन रिमूव. वाई? बिकॉज सी, हाइड्रोजन का प्रॉपर्टी है कि इट इज़ इनफ्लेमेबल इन नेचर, एंड ड्यू टू दिस इनफ्लेमेबल नेचर व्हेन इट गोज़ एट द टॉप, जब वो हवे में रहता है बहुत टाइम तक, तो वो आग पकड़ लेता है वो बलून, एंड ड्यू टू दिस दैट कैन बी एन प्रॉब्लम फॉर द बलून एंड द पर्सन हु इज़ देयर इनसाइड. सो दैट इज़ वाई ओल्डन डेज में ये कंसेप्ट ये लोग हाइड्रोजन यूज़ करते थे फॉर नोइंग ऑफ द वेदर फोरकास्ट. बट देन इवेंचुअली एज द साइंस गॉट एडवांस एंड मॉडर्नाइज्ड, तो हीलियम इज़ प्रिफर्ड इंस्टेड ऑफ हाइड्रोजन. वाई हीलियम वॉज प्रिफर्ड? बिकॉज हीलियम भी लाइटेस्ट है. ओके, एंड एट द सेम पीरियड ऑफ अ टाइम this is an inert gas. Inert gas means what? Non-reactive. So that is why it has been preferred. Now oxidation and reduction. Oxidation and reduction. See, in a easier language, addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Okay, addition of oxygen or the removal of hydrogen is called the addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. See, let's take an example. If suppose I am taking carbon and I am going to make it react with oxygen, so it will form CO2. So this is nothing but the oxidation part. Okay, if suppose I am going to take sodium, I am going to make it react, so it is going to form sodium oxide. Oxidation. Removal of hydrogen. This was addition of hydrogen, now the removal of hydrogen. Okay, suppose in this compound we can see hydrogen. Okay, you can see hydrogen which is there with the sulfur. If I am going to remove this hydrogen from this compound, so what would be the formation? It would go here, HCl and S. So see, from this compound we removed the hydrogen. So this means the removal of hydrogen. Now reduction. It is exactly the reverse. Addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. Let's take an example. See, I have given this example many a time. See, the oxygen has been removed. Oxygen को निकाल दिया. Removal of oxygen. Addition means what? Suppose the same reaction. This same reaction I am going to take in the reverse part. Chlorine. Okay, and I am going to make it react with H2S. So what is going to happen? We are going to form 2HCl plus H. Okay, the same reaction, but the difference between those is addition of chlorine. See, here if you notice the chlorine was single. Okay, but when we took hydrogen out here, so it became HCl. So there was an addition of hydrogen in this case. Okay, in this same case, if you notice the same part. Okay, see, here the chlorine was single and I got added this hydrogen, so that is why the compound form is called HCl. So hydrogen got added with this chlorine, so that is why it is called addition of hydrogen. But in the same case, okay, this H2O, H2S, this hydrogen got removed. मैं ऐसा भी बोल सकता हूँ ना, देखो इसमें मैं ऐसा बोल सकता हूँ कि in case of chlorine hydrogen got added, first case. In case of hydrogen sulfide the hydrogen got removed. मैं दोनों वे से बोल सकता हूँ. इसमें मैंने added में बोला, in this hydrogen has been added and here the hydrogen got removed. Okay, so oxidation and reduction. See, you don't have to learn each and everything out here. I will give the marking to you. This is just a conceptual part. Now redox reaction. Redox reactions are those, see, red, RED red, OX ox. तो red मतलब reduction, ox मतलब oxidation. If I am going to take copper oxide and I am going to make it react with hydrogen, so it would form copper plus water. If you notice, copper oxide copper बन गया, so it got reduced. Okay, क्या concept था? Removal of hydrogen means reduction. Okay, reduced मतलब reduction हुआ. Addition of hydrogen means what? Addition of oxygen means what? Oxidation. This was hydrogen and it got oxidized to form water. So they gone under oxidation state. This occurs simply in the displacement reactions only. Okay, in the double displacement reaction it is not possible to see of this redox reaction. So one should be aware that this reactions, all this oxidation and reduction would take place in the displacement reaction only. Okay, thank you students. This was the part 2 of the hydrogen chapter.